Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. And as you can see, I am on Little Bay Beach, on the side of the beach that many of us have come to refer to as the Bel Air side of the beach. The side of the beach where there is no development and where everyone has a relatively easy access. So you may wonder why I'm here today. Let us take a little walk. So there's been a lot of rubble dumped here, deposited here over the past couple of weeks. If you've been following Pride's social media, have been following the news, you will know that this area is unfortunately also slated for development. And that this development here may involve threats to the pond in the back. The Little Bay Pond, historically known as the Welgelegen Pond. So there are several developments for this area, proposed developments for this area, permits requested by developers submitted to the Ministry of Roaming, and they all threaten the Little Bay Pond or Welgelegen Pond. Now, up until the 1960s, Sint Maarten had 19 ponds. Fast forward to 2024, we only have 5 remaining, and we didn't lose them to climate change or global warming. No, we lost them to development. Of our 19 ponds on the Dutch side of Sint Maarten, we have 5 ponds remaining. Can you imagine that? Now, these ponds serve various purposes. The Welgelegen Pond, for instance, the Little Bay Pond here, played a very important part in history. There was a study carried out by Andre Patrick and a team of others from the cadastre and some historians years ago that showed that the Welgelegen Pond served as what they called a food pond back in colonial times, when many of our ancestors slaved on plantations. This pond was an area where they would be able to get fresh water. You see the pond in the background here? So this was a source of fresh water. They farmed fish, ducks, crabs, but also used the water for irrigation purposes or to feed livestock. Bathed themselves, if I remember correctly, also used the water to cook with. So our ancestors used this pond for various purposes. The pond also has a very important ecological function. All sorts of birds nest in the mangroves along these ponds, including the Little Bay Welgelegen Pond, many different species of fish, all sorts of other wildlife. Our national bird, the brown pelican, makes a lot of use of this pond. And we stand to lose it. And that day that we're going to lose it, or that we may lose it if we don't do something to stop it, is getting closer every day. Now look at this. Filled up already up until the line of the mangroves. Now, in times of high water, the water is all here. And this has been pushed back all the way to the mangroves. It's some having been overrun already. And you can tell that pushing it more into the pond is just a matter of time. Look at this. Are we really going to allow the destruction of yet another pond on St. Maarten? One of the 5 last remaining ones? Internationally recognized as an important bird area. We have legislation in place on St. Maarten that can stop this type of development and destruction. But do we do it? No, we don't. So I'm sure the minister in charge of Vromi does not realize that on the basis of the Landsverordening Ruimtelijke Ontwikkelingsplanning, for instance, the National Spatial Planning Ordinance, he has means and measures in place that he could use to stop this sort of destruction of our cultural and natural heritage. But does he do it? No. As usual, developers get to do whatever they want on St. Maarten. And today, Wednesday, February 21st, I stand here to tell you that we are very close to losing significant parts of the Little Bay Pond already. Look at this. Internationally recognized as an important bird area, you know. This pond to my left. But what do? We get ready to bulldoze it and fill it up. And then people will say, oh, that is progress. This is not progress. And this is not just destruction of some green part of St. Maarten. This is a destruction of who we are as a people. It's a blatant slap in the face of our ancestors who toiled this soil and used this pond to sustain themselves over generations. In the time of climate change, we're in the climate crisis. Climate change is not something that is going to come, it is here. Yeah? You're going to have an increase in sea water levels, times of drought, and times of a lot of rain. And what we're going to do? Fill up one of our water catchment areas without a second thought. So, Minister, what is your response to this? I am ashamed.